starting the holidays early.
Starting in the 6th grade, students who miss 18 days or more of school in a year for any reason will fall behind and risk not graduating high school. How many days of school has your child missed this year? Absences add up. Keep track at boostattendance.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Army and the Ad Council.
This is 24/7 Comedy, Comedy 1460.
Castillo. All right, so you have that. I thought I did. And Josh took one from us. Word on the street is the word on the street is the first game, Castillo, and then 15 is
Udothea. Udothea.
So it's not like huge. Since nobody pronounces H anymore.
It's time for Columbus State University baseball on AM 1460 WHAL. Cougar baseball is sponsored by CB&T, Pepsi, Burger King, A&J Screen Printers, the Wingate Hotel in Bradley Park, and Country's Barbecue. Follow the Cougars all year long on AM 1460 WHAL.
After 4 weeks on the road, the Columbus State baseball team returns to Ragsdale Field for their first home game since the end of March, as they rank 10th in the country and get set to take on the Albany State Golden Rams here this afternoon at Ragsdale on CSU Day. Scott Miller here, high above beautiful Ragsdale Field, and Stephen Williams alongside me. It was a long time away from home, 10 games overall, 9 in the conference, and 7-2.
And you know, Scott, the last time we were on the air, we kept saying we're not quite sure how this team is. Let's see them play against others. But I think we've gotten to the point where they're done proving themselves. This is a pretty good baseball team.
And indeed, it put themselves in position to have an opportunity to have a special season. We'll come back. We'll talk with Coach Greg Appleton coming up. Tim Rutherford is our studio producer. This is the CSU Sports Network on AM 1460 WHAL.
Do you need a
Field, and Coach Greg Appleton joins us on the pregame show. Did you guys have to get a map to find this
we practiced a few times here, so. But yeah, it looks different to see us in these white uniforms. So yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while, and we're glad to be home.
28 days since the last home game, 9 conference games in that time, and you went 7-2 on the road, moved into first place in the league and number 12 in the country. Well done on the road, I'd say.
Yeah, these guys have done a great job and really stepped up to the challenge. Remember last time that we talked about, well, this will, these 3 or 4 weeks will define, what kind of season that we're going to have. And we did a good job on the road here. We got to come home and play some tough teams in Albany State and USC Aiken, but I'd rather be playing those guys at home than on the road.
Oh, absolutely. We'll talk about Albany State in just a moment, but a quick peek at USC Aiken for the fans this weekend. It's a Friday doubleheader and a single Saturday game because of Easter weekend, and it should be quite a series.
Well, actually, there is a change.
Oh, okay. Here we go.
We're going to, because of the chance of some weather on Friday, we're going to play a single game on Friday at 5 o'clock. And then we're going to play the doubleheader on Saturday because we had 78 and sunny with 0% chance of rain, so we decided to change it. But we're
breaking news right here.
Yeah, we're going to play the 1 game on Friday and 2 on Saturday. And the 2 o'clock game on Friday wasn't a great idea to begin with because of the amount of people that could get out here. So I think this will serve us a little better.
All right, sounds good. But Aiken is they're 3 games back of us, and so they're right in the mix there for the league title.
Yeah, Aiken might be as talented a team as we play this year. They've slipped up and gone on the road a couple times and haven't gotten it done, but they have an outstanding pitching staff. They can hit, they can run, they play good defense. So you look at our stats, and there's not a whole lot of difference between our stats and their stats. So it looks like it's going to be a pretty good matchup.
All right, Albany State here today. They have finished conference play unbeaten in conference play, so that tells you something right there.
Right, they're 20-0 in conference, and they're 28-15 overall going into their conference tournament. And they've beaten Valdosta twice. They've beaten Georgia Southwestern. They've beaten Shorter in some non-conference games. They played some really good opponents. So. We got them pretty good when we went down to Albany last time, but I just think we caught them off guard, and we got on a roll and got them. We're going to have to play a good solid game to beat these guys tonight.
What are the pitching plans tonight?
Well, we're going to split it up. I'm going to start Ryan Pisty. He's going to start and give us a couple innings, but we're going to try to mix it up, throw guys a couple innings apiece, and keep some guys fresh and. Be ready for Friday and Saturday.
All right, good luck.
Thanks, Scott.
Coach Greg Appleton will be back with the starting lineup and the play-by-play story. This is Cougar Baseball on AM 1460.
You're busy with places to go and people to see. At CD&T, we understand. That's why we created the Synovus Connections prepaid card. Use it for purchases, ATM withdrawals, and even get cash back. It's an affordable alternative to checking, simple to load, and can be replaced if lost or stolen. Plus, there's no credit check required. Let CD&T help you manage your busy lifestyle. Visit us for details or to open your Synovus Connections card today. CD&T, a division of Synovus Bank, member FDIC. Fees and restrictions apply, subject to approval.
Columbus State University, committed to excellence in the classroom and on the court. Burger King is...
Our national anthem from Ragsdale Field here on Columbus State University Day as they're gathering over in the Cunningham Center on the balcony up above Ragsdale to all of the supporters of CSU out here for this ball game. Second year in a row that we have tied CSU Day around a game here at Ragsdale. And Stephen, this team comes in with a 31-11 record, and Albany State 28-15, and Albany State breezed through their conference schedule unbeaten.
Yeah, I think breezed is the perfect word for it, and I think Greg Appleton put it well in that pregame interview. Yeah, it was 26-1 the first time these two met, but that's not indicative of the kind of season that Albany State is having. As he said, they have tripped up quite a few of the good teams around the state of Georgia in the non-conference portion of the schedule. And then any times, I don't care what conference it is, anytime a team goes 20-0 in its conference schedule, you pause and take a look at that.
Yeah, it is. They have been phenomenal in that, and their regular season will end here tonight, and they'll get set to play in their conference tournament, the SIAC tournament, and that will be in Ozark, Alabama, not this weekend, but the next weekend. Coming up for the Cougars this weekend, a big series with USC Aiken, and there has been, as you heard on the pregame show, there has been a schedule change for the three-game series, Stephen.
Yeah, originally they were scheduled to play 2 on Friday and 1 on Saturday, which is rather odd, and as we were talking about before, it would have been nice for us and our purposes just to get those 2 out of the way, but now they're going to switch it back to the traditional style. They'll play 1 Friday night at 5 o'clock, and then they'll have the doubleheader starting at 1 here on Saturday.
Yeah, and the weather forecast is the reason for that. There's a 50% chance of rain on Friday, so they're just concerned that they might get behind the 8 ball a little bit, and they certainly don't want to have a game rained out on Friday and then have to see about Sunday, because Sunday is Easter Sunday, of course. So that's the reason for that, and we'll have those games for you here this weekend. Ryan Leitner getting ready to lead it off, and he will face Ryan Pisty here tonight. Ryan, a right-hander, 5'11", 180 junior out of Boynton Beach, Florida. And we are ready for the first pitch of the ball game. It's hit to third, fielded by Blake Edwards. He throws to first. That's the way we like it. 1 pitch and 1 out. And that'll bring up the center fielder, Reese McDaniel. McDaniel hitting .374 on the season for Albany State. Pisty's pitch is in there for a called strike.
Ryan Pisty, a guy that doesn't start very often, just his 3rd start of the season. He's not a guy that will overpower you. He stays in the strike zone and works fast.
There's a breaking ball that's in there for another called strike, and it's 0-2. Wind blowing from right to left and swirling back in toward home plate. There's a chopper over the mound. Tough play. Shortstop Fields throws to first, and he got him. Fine play by Carson Bowers.
And Bowers only able to make that play because of that quick transition from glove to hand. He was so fast with that release, the transition, and put the throw on the money.
So nice job by Carson. 2 up and 2 down quickly. That'll bring up the left fielder, Jacob Campbell. Campbell hitting .434 on the season. Hits from the left side of the plate. Pitches in there for a called strike 1. Beautiful sunshine now here today. The pitch is fouled away. Still a little cool for this time of year. Old man Winter just does not want to give it up. The 0-2 pitch on the way. Missed outside, 1-2.
Pisty, a guy that's 1-0 on the season, a 2.73 ERA, was very good the last time he went out there in the second game of the 3-game series they just had with Georgia Southwestern.
The next pitch popped up down the third base line and out of play over toward the tennis courts. Count stays 1-2.
In that game, CSU starter Caden Ferguson lasted just 1 inning, gave up 5 runs on 6 hits. Ryan Pisty came out of the bullpen, and all he did was go 6 innings, give up just 1 run. It was unearned on 2 hits, and keep them in a game that they eventually won 8-7.
The 1-2 pitch on the way. It's high, 2-2. You heard if you were with us at the beginning of the broadcast, heard Coach Appleton say that like to get several guys in here tonight, get some work before the weekend. The 2-2 is ripped foul down over their bullpen. It's a great place, those folks watching the ball game on the balcony in the Cunningham Center. Great place to see a game. The 2-2 pitch is driven deep down the right field line, but it's going to a hook foul. He hit it over into the softball field, but he was way out in front of it. He has 3 home runs on the season. Almost had number 4. Couldn't keep it fair. There's a sharply hit ball. Foul down the first base line again. Part of CSU Day, the cafeteria has set up for students over here at the ballpark. The 2-2 pitch popped him up into center field. Brendan Collins has a beat on it. He's under it, and he's got it for the final out of the inning. So 1-2-3 go the Rams in the first. We go to the bottom of the first inning. Albany State nothing. CSU just now coming into bat. This is the CSU Sports Network on AM 1460. Scott Miller, Stephen Williams back at Ragsdale Field as the Cougars and the Rams are just underway here this afternoon, so you have plenty of time to come on out and enjoy the ball game. Bring a jacket. It'll get, when the sun starts to go down, it'll really get cool. We need to, maybe next year, try to set up and broadcast a weekend series from the balcony of the Cunningham Center. What do you think?
I'd be game for that.
Yeah.
It'd be a little bit different angle to try to broadcast from. I think we'd have to get our lefts and rights backwards, but
it would. It would be. It would be different. It'd be like Harry Carey out with the bleacher bombs. All right, here's Brendan Collins to lead it off and takes the first pitch in there for a called strike one. 358 on the season. Next pitch to Brendan is in there for a called strike, and it's 0-2.
You know, if they're going to set us up out there, though, I'm going to have to make the request that they set us up with the same kind of food spread that I'm sure is out there right now.
Isn't that the truth? We'll have to get some perks out of it somehow. There's a pitch popped up on the infield. The shortstop on the dirt, Alan Hardy, calling for it, just on the edge of the dirt, just past the infield grass, and he has it for out number one. That'll bring up Jackson Oliver, the right fielder for the Cougars. 408 on the season. 4 home runs, 50 RBI. Well, we've got some guys that really have put together outstanding, solid seasons. First pitch to Jackson misses outside, 1-0.
This guy that's currently leading the country in hits right now with 75 of them. He's having a Conference Player of the Year type campaign as a sophomore.
The 1-0 pitch, Fouled off, back to the screen. Count is even at 1-1.
Probably won't get a lot of consideration because of just 4 home runs, a low number, but he's driven in 50 out of the number 2 spot in the order. Think about that.
That is astounding, isn't it? The 1-1, he's got another base hit, looped it into right center. He's rounding the bag at first, and he's going to throw on the brakes there as they get the ball back in a hurry, and a throwback behind him, and he's back standing on the bag, but another hit for Jackson Oliver.
It gives him an 8-game hitting streak now right away. He put together an 18-gamer earlier in the season, so he has had hits in just about every ball game this season.
Here is Jimmy Obermark, the Cougar second baseman, 327, 4 home runs, 32 RBI on the season. Jackson gets his lead over at first, and the pitch is a strike on the inside corner. Jackson Oliver at first, 16 out of 20 in the stolen base department. Second on the club. It's a decent lead. Pitch to the plate, curveball hit into left field for a base hit. Between short and third, and the Cougars have something going, first and second, and 1 out here in the first.
And this is the kind of start you know Greg Appleton wanted to see. He doesn't want to see his team taking somebody lightly. They go out and get a 1-2-3 inning, and it's time to put a team away early, try to put some runs on the board, and stay out in front.
Yeah, I would think as a coach that's what you'd really be concerned about. I mean, because the last time it was a blowout, it was so easy, and as Greg said, there were a lot of contributing factors to that, and this team, I'm sure Albany State comes in here tonight wanting to prove that that was a fluke. Dustin Averett, 327 hitter on the season, 8 home runs and 43 RBI. First and second and 1 down. Breaking ball stayed high, 1-0.
Peterson, the pitcher here, someone that CSU saw in that 26-1 victory. He pitched an inning and 2/3, gave up 7 runs on 8 hits, so they're comfortable against him.
Checks the runner at second. The 1-0 is popped up behind the plate, back toward the stands, and indeed in the stands. Everybody's okay.
It's always good when you hear the bleachers. You know they didn't catch somebody.
That's right. Count is even at 1-1. Cougar catcher digs back in there. And the 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball catches the outside corner for a called strike 2.
Scott, we kept talking about the offense and how we didn't expect it to be so great. You look down the starting lineup, the lowest batting average is 289. Everyone else above 300.
Check of the runner again, and a 1-2 pitch line drive, base hit into center field. They're going to wave the runner to the plate. Here's the throw. It's cut off. It will go to third, and he's in there safely. And the Cougars are on top, 1-0, with the RBI single off the bat of Dustin Averett.
And these just aren't lazy fly balls they're hitting into the outfield right now. That's 3 consecutive line drives that were well hit, 1 to right, 1 to center, 1 to left. They're spreading it around and look very, very good out of the gates.
Third baseman Blake Edwards, 373 on the season, a triple, 10 doubles, 2 home runs, 32 RBI. So runners on the corners now, and 1 down, and a run in. Third baseman Arrington is in on the grass at third, in the dirt, and a nice stop by the catcher Lattner to keep that ball in front of him. Coach Patrick Collins flashing the signs down at third in his 12th season as an assistant for Coach Greg Appleton, who's in his 17th season. There's a looper into right field. Right fielder broke back. Now he's under it. He's got it. The runner tags at third. Here's the throw. He will score standing up, and the Cougars lead it 2-0.
And that's what you have to do. You continue to add on a good productive at bat, not trying to do too much there was Edwards. Just drives one into right and picks up a run.
And another RBI for Blake. As the right fielder Carrasquillo made a decent throw, but not nearly in time. Here's the first baseman, Mike McClellan, 383 on the season. 7 doubles, a triple, 7 home runs, 31 RBI. Runner at first and 2 down now. The first pitch is outside the strike zone for ball 1. Postseason play begins for the tennis teams tomorrow, softball team on Friday, golf teams on Friday. Swing and a miss. There goes the runner from first. The throw is high and almost into center field. Shortstop Hardy made a nice stab of it to keep it on the infield, and a stolen base.
Also track and field this weekend as well.
Yeah, that's right. Is that in Rome?
Yeah, up in Rome, hosted by Shorter, who's one of those conference members in track only.
Checks the runner back there, looks him back. Track and field, it looks like they have several more meets after the conference.
It's one of those things where you don't qualify for the postseason unless you post the right numbers, so they can do more of that.
Pitches lined foul down into their bullpen and actually over their bullpen.
It's an ever-changing schedule, too. We never are quite sure where J.D. Evilsize is going to take that bunch in a weekend.
2-1 count on Mike McClellan. Do they still have the Pennsylvania trip on the schedule? Didn't they have something to pin relays or something?
Yeah, I have no idea, to be perfectly honest.
Well, stay tuned. The 2-1 is downstairs, and it's 3-1. Make it 2-2. Scoreboard was wrong. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 pitch. There's a line drive in the gap in left center field. That ball is going to go all the way to the fence, and we'll get another run home easily. And in at second is Mike McClellan with the RBI double, and the Cougars lead it 3-0.
Mike McClellan, one of those guys that's very quietly in the middle of that order, having a phenomenal season for CSU this year. A guy that got off to a slow start, wasn't even in the lineup for much of the early portion of the season, but got in there in the middle and has just absolutely taken off.
And that'll bring up the designated hitter, Blaine Miller. Blaine 308 on the season, 14 RBI. Blaine's out of Smith Station. And first pitch swinging, swung right through a fastball up and in. So the Cougars have done what they wanted to try to do here. A team that they beat easily on the road. They jumped on them for 3 quick ones here in the first inning. There's a looper to right. Right fielder coming toward that line is going to drop in there for a base hit. Another run will score. Motoring to second is Miller, and he is in there safely. The ball beat him there, but it kicked away from the shortstop Hardy, and he's in safely with the RBI double.
And that's just good hustle by Blaine Miller. He saw that one starting to fall. He was thinking 2 the whole way, rounded first hard, and forced Carrasquillo to make a throw, and the throw was just a little bit low and in the dirt and tough to pick up.
So 4-0 Columbus State. And here is the shortstop Carson Bowers. Carson 345 on the season, 3 home runs, 22 RBI. Swing and a miss. Just 2 more, counting this one, 2 non-conference games remaining. Next Wednesday, Valdosta State is in here, and we'll have all of the remaining home games for you, and then all of the postseason games. The 0-1 bounced up the middle. Shortstop Fields behind the bag, throws, good stretch at first, and he got him. So that's it for the Cougars, but not before they put a 4 spot on the board here in the first inning. We played 1 at Ragsdale, Columbus State 4, Albany State nothing. This is the CSU Sports Network on AM 1460. Scott Miller, Stephen Williams back at Ragsdale Field, where the Cougars up 4-0 on Albany State as we go to the top of the second inning. And Robert Latner, the catcher, will lead it off. First pitch swinging. He reaches for one and pops it foul back behind the stands and out of play. Cougars in first place in the Peach Belt. Moved into first, taking 2 out of 3 2 weekends ago from Georgia College fly ball center. Brendan Collins has a beat on it. He's under it, and he's got it. So out number one.
So far, they've picked up the perfect recipe for how to win a conference. You never lose a series. They've won 2 out of 3 or swept every Peach Belt opponent they've had this year with 2 series to go.
That has gotten the job done to this point. Aiken this weekend, and then at North Georgia next weekend. The pitch is in there for a strike. Uwan Udofia, the first baseman.
Excuse you.
Yes. Where's he from? Doesn't have it there. I've got a deeper roster over here somewhere. Pitches in there for strike 2. Oh, there it is. Okay, my bad. Stone Mountain, of course.
Of course. That sounds like a Stone Mountain name.
Yes, absolutely. The 0-2. This is outside. And it's 1-2. The 0-2 pitch. Breaking ball. Missed high and inside. I grew up in DeKalb County, fairly close to Stone Mountain, and the 1-2 pitch fouled away, still 1-2. And it was back then they didn't have as many attractions there at the park as they do now, but every time somebody visited from out of town, they always wanted to go to Stone Mountain. So got a little tired of Stone Mountain growing up as a kid. I appreciate it more now that I haven't been in a while, or every weekend. Fouled away, 1-2. The Chick-fil-A cow is in the house.
We need that glove.
That is a big glove. That looks like the glove that Bob Euchre used to have to catch Phil Necro. There's a chopper. Good play at third. The throw to first, and he got in Blake Edwards just as high as he could go and got it in the tip of the glove to haul it down.
Yeah, he made that look rather easy, didn't he?
Yep.
Going left, not only did he have to extendicate, then he's got to whip his body back around in order to square up to throw over to first, and was able to do it and threw the runner out by a couple steps.
Here's the shortstop, Alan Hardy. Swing and a miss. Yeah, that is a big glove that the cow has on there. The 0-1 bullet foul down the third baseline.
How about Blake Edwards not going to the dirt there? Did you notice that? He did the start of a dive, and he held himself.
He did dive. He started the dive, but he didn't.
That uniform's still spotless.
Yeah. Come on, man. The 0-2 pitch. Off the end of the bat, popped him up into shallow left field toward the lines. Bowers dropped the ball, and a throw to second is not in time. He's in there safely. Carson Bowers got there in plenty of time. He overran it a little bit and popped out of his glove.
That was just one of those he didn't use 2 hands on, kind of a little nonchalant down that line, and kind of hit the palm and just spun right out.
It'll be an error. So Ryan Piste has to pitch around a 2-out error here in the second inning. There's a strike in there.
Ryan, the perfect pitcher for a game like this. Wastes no time. He's going to throw it before you can even talk about him getting ready to throw the next pitch.
He's our kind of pitcher, especially in a game where you figure there'll be a lot of runs scored. The 0-1 is pulled foul down the third baseline, 0-2. Cougars at 19-5 in the Peach Belt. Lander at 21-6. USC Aiken at 16-8. And Aiken's in for 3 this weekend. Just the luck of the scheduling. The Cougars and Lander did not meet in the regular season. The 0-2 misses outside, 1-2. Conference tournament at USC Aiken is single elimination. Check of the runner. The 1-2 is fouled away. Count stays 1-2. They're tossing T-shirts into the stands. Ryan Lewis, former great outfielder for the Cougars, showing off his arm again. There's a looper into right, and Jackson Oliver is under it, and he's got it for the final out of the inning. So the two-out error does not hurt, and we go to the bottom of the second inning here at Ragsdale. It's Columbus State 4, Albany State nothing. This is the CSU Sports Network on AM 1460. Bottom of the second inning at Ragsdale Field, 4-0. Columbus State on top of Albany State on CSU Day. Here is Matt Nettles, Cougar left fielder, takes the first pitch downstairs for ball one. Top 8 teams in the league will make that single elimination tournament over at USC Aiken. Pitch misses away. 2-0 is fouled away. Back toward the clubhouse, 2-1. I see where the softball tournament is single elimination.
That's been good to Columbus State University the last couple of years.
Sure has, hasn't it? 2-time defending champions.
And don't be worried about being a low seed, because the 2 years they won it, they were the 4 and the 5. So the 6, just a little bit more challenge for
Just
them.
another progression. 4, 5, 6, won it 3 times. Swing and a miss, had him way out in front.
I was talking with Brad Huskisson actually about it this morning, and he said, we like where we're at. Played well. We don't mind the draw we got.
2-2 is in the dirt. I guess they stay away from North Georgia until it would be the championship
game. They get USC Aiken in the first round, which is always tough because of their pitcher, India Cornegay, who's of national quality. But it's one that they've seen, 4, 5, 6, 7 times in her career now as a senior. And then they would likely get Armstrong in the second round, but they may not. Armstrong gets Francis Marion, who just beat them in the game they just played this weekend. And then it would likely be North Georgia at the end of the line.
Friday and Saturday in Florence. Tennis tournaments are also in Florence. Payoff pitch on the way. Misses outside for ball 4. So a leadoff walk here in the second. Back to the top of the order. And Brendan Collins, who popped to short to begin the first inning. Cougars put 4 on the board after that. Golf tournaments Friday and Saturday at Callaway Gardens. Throw the first. Back easily. 2 rounds on Friday and round 3 on Saturday up there.
Never quite understood why they stack everything on top of each other right now.
Makes it tough, doesn't it? Bunting and pops it up behind the plate, foul territory, just off to the left of the plate, and the catcher Leitner is there to make the grab.
It's just one of those things where, number one, you're stretching everybody's staff thin, and then you're not really giving due justice to covering every sport because everything's on top of each other.
It kind of all gets thrown into a big pot, and so the amount of coverage you get gets diluted. Throw to first, back standing.
Yeah, you talk about a newspaper editor that's looking at the stuff coming out, and he's not giving you the entire sports section, so he's got to pick the best, and sometimes things get left out naturally because you got so much coming through.
Yep. Short amount of time on television newscast and radio sportscast, and I know some of it has to do with the exam schedules in the several different states and so on and so forth, but pitch is high. Jackson Oliver singled and scored the first run of the game in the first inning. The 1-0 pitch, missed outside, snap throw back to first, and Nettles is back safely.
But in addition to all that stuff that's going on, then you still have arguably the biggest series that CSU baseball has played in a couple of years happening on the same weekend as well that deserves a lot of coverage.
You asked me the question before we went on the air. The 2-0 pitch, throw to first instead, back safely. When was the last time we had this big a series at home? And my first reaction, and still is, I can't remember the last time we had this big a series at home, and so that tells you something right there. Pitch is high, throw to first, he's back safely again.
You just think about everything that's on the line right now. CSU needs to take 2 out of 3 in order to stay at the top of the conference standings up there with Lander. 2 out of 3 would tie them for it. You know, you're talking about a team that's right on the edge in one poll at the top 10 at number 10. They're number 12 in another. And then the regional rankings set to come out shortly.
3-0 is in there, 3-1.
So, I mean, you're talking about a group now that's also messing around with potentially being in position to maybe win a regional host spot. So there's so much on the line for them this weekend.
3-1 on the way, swing and a miss. There goes the runner. Throw down to second is bounced into center field, and Nettles will get up and move to third on the stolen base and the throwing error.
Matt Nettles, just his 3rd stolen base of the season.
And on the swinging strike that runs the count full to Jackson Oliver. If the Cougars are able to win the regular season title, and then should they win the Peach Belt tournament, 3-2 pitch, slap foul and out of play. And especially if it's Lander that they beat in the tournament, then you would think that that would give them the leg up to host the regional. 3-2 is fly ball back to left. Left fielder running a circle route. He's under it, short of the track. Campbell is. He's got it. And he will toss it back in, and that'll get a run home as Nettles scores from third on the Cougars' second sacrifice fly of the night, and it's 5-0.
And there's Jackson Oliver adding another RBI to his total there in that number 2 spot. So you give him credit for driving him in, but you put a lot of that credit on the bottom of the order because those guys are getting on base.
Pitch is high. I want to say, off the top of my head, and I've got it in my stack of stuff over here, but I want to say 1994 was the last time we hosted a regional. So it's been a long time. Popped him up in foul territory. First baseman stumbling and falls to the ground. makes the catch. The ball pops out. And let's see if we're going to say the catch is good or shades of Major League Baseball here with the argument on the old transfer rule that's been in place. And they're going to say no catch. And that's, he touched it in foul territory because Obermark will stay at the plate. And now I think that's one of the things that the Albany State coach wants to find out. If it was fair territory, all they had to do was pick the ball up and throw it to first.
It looked to me like it was in foul territory.
Yeah, me too. And I think that's exactly what he just wanted to be sure, and he has no argument with that. Well, it's ironic, isn't it? One of the big discussions in Major League Baseball in the first few weeks has been the application of the transfer rule. They have not changed it. They're just applying the rule the way it's written. And there have been some upset people about that. The 1-1 misses outside. 2-1. 2-1 breaking ball on the outside corner for a called strike 2. There's a play at the plate a couple of nights ago. 2-2 swing and a miss. He struck him out. So the Cougars go down in the second, but pick up another run, and we've played 2 at Ragsdale. It's Columbus State 5, Albany State nothing. This is the CSU Sports Network on AM 1460. Scott Miller, Stephen Williams, back at the ballpark. 5-0, Cougars on top. Throwing out T-shirts again.
Makes it a rather fun atmosphere around here on a day in which the ball game isn't all that close at the moment.
Yep. It's amazing the things that all of us will do for a free T-shirt, right? Swing and a miss.
Free T-shirt, free food, people come running.
Now, free food, you had me at free food.
Had a lot of these people at free food, too.
0-1 is bounced between the shortstop and the third baseman into left field for a leadoff single here in the third.
It's a good turnout, though, across the way. The stands aren't all that packed, but you look down that right field line and all those picnic tables, and apparently there's food or something off in the distance because there's a large congregation of people out there as well.
Yeah, the big tent down there just behind the softball press box. So fun atmosphere. I'm glad they started to include the baseball game and the students and the CSU Day activities. The pitch is in there for strike. Hector Carrasquillo. Number 9 hitter, right fielder. He bunts it, fielded by Blake Edwards at third, throws to first, and he got it. Runner moves to second. With one down.
Now batting second baseman, number 8, Ryan Latner.
And that'll take us back to the top of the order and second baseman Ryan Latner. He bounced to third his first time up. Bunts this one too hard down the first base line, fielded by Mike McClellan, and he's going to tag the batter as he tried to slide feet first under the tag, but got the tag applied, and out number 2, and on the play, Arrington moves to third.
One base at a time right now for Albany State.
Well, trying to their best to get at least one on the board. Here's Reese McDaniel, grounded to short his first time up. He pops it up, and second baseman Jimmy Obermark calling for it on the infield dirt, and he's got it for out number 3. Leadoff single, and he's stranded at third. We go to the bottom of the third inning. Columbus State 5, Albany State nothing. This is the CSU Sports Network on AM 1460. Bottom of the third inning on CSU Day here at Ragsdale Field. 5-0. Columbus State leads Albany State. And a new pitcher for the Rams is Jared Arrington, 6'5", 200-pound senior from McDonough, Georgia.
1-1, a 4.85 ERA for him. Just 13 innings pitched, though, for the season.
So they will try to use several pitchers here tonight also, as they have more action in their bullpen.
Albany State has had 18 different guys, according to the stats, that have thrown this year. That is a huge number.
Tried to print their pitching stats out on one page, and it didn't work.
Fourth man now on the hill for the Golden Rams, number 11, Jared Arrington.
Arrington will face Dustin Averett, Blake Edwards, and Mike McClellan due up here in the Cougar third inning. Again, a reminder, the schedule for the weekend series we've been talking about with USC-Aiken has changed because of the 50% chance of rain on Friday. It was a doubleheader scheduled on Friday, but now single game Friday at 5 and doubleheader Saturday at 1. Saturday is supposed to be a beautiful day. The Friday game will be right here on AM 1460. The Saturday doubleheader will be on News Radio 540. The pitch is high to Dustin, who singled in a run, stole a base, and scored a run in the first inning. 1-0 pitch is high.
Really hoping that we have good crowds this weekend out here, because it'll be high-quality baseball. Two of the top teams in the country at this level, jockeying for position in the conference late in the year. It's got everything you want in a regular season series.
2-0 is a fastball strike on the outside corner, 2-1. Yeah, make your plans if you're in town and not traveling for Easter weekend to come out. Swing and a miss. Boy, blew that fastball by him. 2-2. Peterson went 2 innings, 5 hits, 5 runs, 4 of them earned, struck out 1, walked 1. Two pitch is popped up on the infield. Second baseman being called off by the shortstop, Hardy, behind the mound, and he's got it for out number 1.
Cougars saw Arrington in that first meeting between the two teams, and he was the only Albany State pitcher to work without allowing a run. He worked a scoreless inning late in that ball game. Did walk 2 hitters, struck out 1, but didn't give up a hit or a run. All other 8 pitchers that threw in that one gave up at least 1.
Here's Blake Edwards, the Cougar third baseman, sacrifice fly RBI in the first inning. Breaking ball is in there for a called strike. Wind continues to blow predominantly from right to left tonight. Breaking ball stayed a little high. And the count is even at 1-1. One pitch. That breaking ball missed. 2-1. Two-one fastball rode up and in on him. 3-1. The conclusion of the regular season, there will be a week off before the conference tournament begins. Pitch misses low and away. Ball 4, 1 out walk.
Yeah, Columbus State, one of the few teams that will finish their season next weekend rather. Most teams will still have conference games to go and some other things to finish up, but CSU wrapping it up, and I guess you can look at it 2 different ways. It can be a benefit if you need some rest, some time to gather some things. It's also one of those where you don't want to cool off during that time.
Worry about getting a little rusty. In the past, we've had some intra-squad, couple of intra-squad games to try to stay sharp. There's a bouncing ball into left field for a base hit between the shortstop and the third baseman. And Mike McClellan 2 for 2 on the night.
McClellan now working with a 14-game hitting streak. Already extended it here in this one, but that's a guy that quietly just keeps hitting and hitting and hitting for this team out of that 6th spot.
Double and a run scored, an RBI, and a single tonight and 2 at-bats. Here's Blaine Miller, the DH tonight. He doubled in a run in the first inning. First and second, and 1 down here in the third, with the Cougars up 5-0 on the Rams of Albany State. Shortstop cuts in behind Edwards at second, and the pitch is high, 1-0. Cut behind him and in front of him on his way back to his position.
With all those people out there on that balcony, it's only right that someone in this ball game today puts one up there.
Somebody needs to do that.
There needs to be a souvenir hat.
Throw to the plate is high, and it is 2-0. The Rams had a little play on where the shortstop, again, as he did the first time, cut behind Edwards, cut in front of him, and when that was happening, the second baseman Latner came over to the bag, and that's going to be all for Jared Arrington as the coach comes out of the dugout and going to make a change.
I think he's frustrated with the fact that Arrington didn't throw on that pickoff because he was kicking dirt when he watched Arrington walk off the field.
He was not very happy. And so we'll take a 60-second break, Tim, a 60-second pitching change break. as the Cougars are on top of Albany State 5-0. This is the CSU Sports Network on AM 1460. So a quick hook for the Rams pitcher, and the third pitcher of the game is in for Albany State.
As we talked about in the break, a member of the all-name team, the man of the hour, Brian Wins. That is about as good of a last name as it gets. It doesn't matter what you do, what you play. Your last name is Wins.
That's a sports name right there. Just for double effect, there's a double N in there, so he's really good for double headers.
This one might drag out long enough to feel like one before we're done.
Yeah, he inherits a 2-0 count from Blaine Miller. To Blaine Miller. Checking the runner out at second, and the pitch jumped on the first pitch and skied it into right center. Center fielder under it. Runner tags. Throw to third is not in time. Just got in there. Good hustle by Blake Edwards.
That was quite a throw from McDaniel
really
there.
was.
He was not shallow out there in right center field. He put that throw right on the bag.
From up here, it looked like it could go either way, that's for sure. So Blake moves up to third. McClellan stayed at first. And 2 down now for the shortstop, Carson Bowers.
Now batting shortstop, number 10, Carson Bowers.
Carson grounded to short his first time up. Strike at the knees. Yeah, there is a really big crowd all the way down the right field line here tonight.
And it's been there the whole night.
The 0-1 pitch, swing and a miss. 0-2.
It would be nicer if they did that a little bit closer to the field, but nonetheless, they're here, so
Yeah.
you can't complain.
It'd be great to get them on the hill behind left field fence, wouldn't it? The 0-2 pitch outside, got the runner McClellan between first and second. Throw to second, he's safe. The runner coming to home, and he will score standing up. The ball gets away from the catcher, and not far enough for McClellan to move up.
I think that's the situation where McClellan was just ready at getting out there just to bait them into it. And not only did he bait them into throwing down to second to where he was safe, he got the run home as well.
So Blake scores to make it 6-0.
That's 2 stolen bases, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a double steal a home.
Steal a home.
There's a chopper to third. Third baseman Arrington Fields throws it away, and everybody's safe. Threw it into dirt, and Udofia made a nice play just to play that one off his chest and keep it in front of him.
It goes from bad to worse. After you watch how it went on the base pass just then, and then you have a chance to get out of the inning, and you spike one in the ground.
And And that will bring up Matt Nettles, the number 9 hitter for CSU tonight. He walked and scored in the second inning. We're in the bottom of the third. CSU leading at 6-0. And the fastball is in there for a called strike.
Matt Nettles a guy that doesn't get a lot of pub. He hits at the bottom of the order. He got the lowest average of the starters at 289. Second on the team in on-base percentage, though. He's a guy that figures out a way to get down there.
Chopper to short field. He'll go the short way to second for the Force. So that's it for the Cougars here in the third inning, but they pick up another run. And we've played 3 at Ragsdale. It's Columbus State 6, Albany State nothing. This is the CSU Sports Network on AM 1460.
Stephen Williams and Scott Miller back here with you at Ragsdale Field as we head to the fourth inning. Cougars up 6-0 on Albany State, and going to the bullpen, Sean Muller, the right-hander, 6 foot, 180-pound sophomore out of Alpharetta, Georgia, the one that will head to the hill for Columbus State.
Sean is 3-1 on the season with an ERA of 2.33. 16 appearances coming into today, 1 save, 27 innings, 32 hits, 7 earned runs, 21 strikeouts, and 8 walks.
Ryan Pisty, a successful start for him. Unfortunately, doesn't go long enough to get a decision in this one, but it won't damper anything that he did on the day. 3 shutout innings for him, allowing just 1 hit. Jacob Campbell, the left fielder, will start things off here in the fourth as Muller slings one into the strike zone for strike 1. Muller works off the far right side of the rubber, the first base side, as he bounces that one in.
There's a lot, as you pointed out, a lot of free food floating around this place, and none of it has made it to the press box yet.
This one looped into center field. Collins a couple of steps to his right, reaches up, and there's out number 1. I think I'm going to leave you in charge of that here for the next few innings. Whatever you've got to do, put some phone calls in.
The Chick-fil-A cow is just leaving. You think I could create a diversion and hit him up for a sandwich or two?
Robert Latner, the hitter, takes one on the inside corner to fall behind in the count 0-1. And I'm not going to ask you how you did it, but if it gets up here, I'll eat it.
Don't ask.
0-1 pitch, rolled towards first, fielded by McClellan, but our first base umpire says it was foul. Sean Muller, an interesting case this season. Last year, he had a double-digit ERA, barely was used at all, and a pitching staff that could have used good arms because they were running out of good arms to throw out there, but has been so much better this year as a sophomore. Line drive, right field, base hit. Latner puts that one out into right field, and he has the second hit of the ball game for the Golden Rams. Muller this year, though, 5th most innings of anybody on this pitching staff. Has that ERA in a good position at 2.33, so it's been a drastic improvement for him from year 1 to year 2 as they check on the run rate first, and a good scoop by McClellan to keep that one from bounding away.
Next Wednesday when we're here against Valdosta State, the Cunningham Center will be busy again in connection with the baseball game.
First pitch to Dofia. They fake the steal at first. It's taken for a ball.
It's Columbus State Cougar Club Cougar Pride Recognition Day. And members of the Cougar Club need to RSVP. Tell you how to do that in a moment.
Check of the runner. He's back in ahead of the throw.
Roger Schultz, the guy who's in charge of this, call him at 706-562-1756, or you can go at csucougars.com and find his email address and email a reservation.
That one big cut by Udofia, fouled straight back.
And the best part about this is going to be food and all kind of things going on. And the best part about it is if you're not a member of the Cougar Club yet, if you sign up, if you go online and sign up before then, you're invited to Cougar Pride Recognition Day as well.
Another one fouled off, so it'll be good to see more people out on that balcony out there. It always feels a little bit bigger here when you've got people out there decorating that balcony in left center field.
So Cougar Club, Cougar Pride Recognition Day, next Wednesday, the 23rd. Valdosta State is in at 6 o'clock. The activities at the Cunningham Center will get started at 5.
Runner on at first with one out. That pitch was in there for a strike, but it won't count because time was called and granted by the home plate umpire.
Well, that was a late granting of time there.
He threw the strike on the pitch, so let's put another one back in there. Udofia grounded out to third his last time, his only time up. He goes breaking ball this time, trying to cross him up after showing him the fastball, but it's in the dirt, 2-2. A lot of cool places about this ballpark, whether it's those picnic tables they've set up for you down the line, the hill out in the outfield, another throw to first, back in safe. The multiple balcony levels they have out there in the outfield, the one in left center, and then the rarely used one out in center field that's sporting some balloons. Runner bluffs again from first. High chopper. Edwards extends. Gets it to second for one. The turn to first. 5, 4, 3. Around the horn goes the double play. And the base runner is immediately erased. So another 0 thrown on the board by the Cougar pitching staff. And through 3.5, it's 6-0 Columbus State here on the CSU Sports Network, AM 1460. A nifty 5-4-3 double play for the Cougar defense. Gets them back to the plate in a 6-0 ball game. That was another one. Edwards going up high to get it. Just made it look easy.
Yeah, he has done a really nice job over there. Made 2 fine plays tonight that, as you said, made it look easier than it really was.
6-0 Columbus State. As high as number 10 in the polls, as the new poll came out today from the National Collegiate Baseball Writers Association. When was the last time that Columbus State was in the top 10? Do you know that? Made the World Series back in 07. Was it that far back?
Possibly that far.
First pitch to Brendan Collins to lead off the fourth, a little low for a ball.
I would say that's a good guess, Stephen.
And who would have thought this would have been the year that happened? The 1-0 pitch out of the zone again. It's 2 balls and no strikes to the leadoff hitter who's looking to reach base for the first time. He's the only one of the starting 9 that hasn't reached base so far in the first 3 innings. 2-0 pitch. Chopped foul over towards the dugout. 2-1.
Not exactly a senior-laden ball club, is it?
No, that's the scary thing about this bunch. They have just 1. So you're talking about a team that if everything stays in order and everybody chooses to come back, they can all be back for next year. Collins pops one up, foul territory, right side of the infield. The catcher, Latner, up, and he will take a tumble as he makes the grab, though. So Albany State having some trouble keeping their feet on the pop-ups, but able to hang on for the catch. So it's been a struggle early for Brendan Collins in this ball game. He is 0 for 3 to start the day, and now that'll bring up Jackson Oliver. 1 for 1, a single, a run scored, a sacrifice fly, and a run driven in. Jackson Oliver, the batter. Trying to continue the good run he's had this year as he takes one out away.
Is that a member of your fan club?
I guess so. After spending 8 days with the soccer team in England, we're all best friends now. Oliver rolls one down to the right side. Diving play. The throw from the backside at second is just a little bit late. Ryan Latner almost came up with a fantastic play in between first and second, throwing almost from laying on his back to first base.
I have no idea how he was able to make such an on-target throw. It was just late.
So Jackson Oliver, fortunate that he runs well, able to beat that out. He's 2 for 2 on the day as he continues to put up huge numbers over the course of this season. Jimmy Obermark will bat now. Strikeout his last time up, also has a base hit. Takes one on the inside corner for a strike. 6 runs, 7 hits for the Cougars already, who have scored in every inning through the first 3. Oliver, a guy that will run over at first, and he's on the move. The pitch goes behind Obermark to the backstop. Latner will have to go retrieve that, and Oliver will get an easy stolen base.
That one was so far inside, it was outside.
Speaking as someone who has been in the batter's box when that has happened, that is not a good feeling.
No, your natural reaction is to back up, of course, and fortunately it wasn't a real good fastball, so had plenty of time to know what was going on and react to it.
1-1 pitch, a swing and a miss, went after one away, 1-2.
I was correct earlier, 1994, indeed the last time that CSU has hosted a regional.
If you have to date back to prior to Greg Appleton being here, it's been a long time since something's happened in this program's history. 1-2, outside corner, a called strike 3. So Jimmy Obermark having a rough couple of innings here. He's the only 2 strikeouts of the ball game. Mr. Wins, though, out there on the mound, has pitched well. So 2 down in the inning. Jackson Oliver still in scoring position. Dustin Averett will try to bring him home. He'll swing and hit a long fly ball deep into right center field. McDaniel going back to the track, and he'll have it for a loud out number 3. So Averett giving it a good ride, and on most days, that ball probably leaves the ballpark. The wind not helping him today, though. It's the final out of the 4th, and we're through 4 in a 6-0 ball game. This is the CSU Sports Network, AM 1460. spend 8 days in a foreign country with a group of people, all of a sudden you're best friends with them when everything's all said and done. Tight quarters, a lot of bus rides.
You become their go-to guy.
I am, yeah, that's when they need something, that's what I'm here for. Stephen Williams and Scott Miller here with you at Ragsdale Field, 6-0. Columbus State still in front of Albany State, trying to sweep the Golden Rams in the two meetings they had this season. CSU Day here at the ballpark. The crowd still continuing to stick around. It's thinned out a little bit down that right field corner, so maybe that means there's some more food available for us. Hint, hint. Anybody down there?
Let's see. All right.
I'm hoping that's not a sign that the food's gone.
Well, that may be exactly the problem.
Alan Hardy leads things off for the Golden Rams here in the fifth. Sean Muller still out there on the mound, who throws ball one. Muller getting some defensive help in the fourth, getting a double play to erase a one-out single. Drops a breaking ball a little low. It's 2-0.
So while 1994 was indeed the last time the Cougars hosted the regional, there is a caveat to that.
2-0 pitch in there for a strike.
In 1996, CSU was in line to host a regional and indeed would have hosted one, but that was the year.
That one a little bit rather on the outside corner, makes it 2-2.
96 was the year we shared the ballpark here at Ragsdale Field with the Columbus Red Sticks.
Lined into deep left center field, Brendan Collins galloping backward, reaches up and has it for the routine play, one down.
Because Golden Park was being used for the Olympics, the softball, and so the Red Sticks played here, and they were scheduled to play here that weekend, and so instead of hosting, the Cougars had to go to Kennesaw State and ended up losing in that regional. Had a great team, that 96 team.
Virgo at the plate watches one that bounces in the dirt for a ball. That's a tough way to lose a host opportunity. Sure, that was a tough pill to swallow for that bunch.
I think talent-wise, that was one of the most talented teams, and there is an argument that it could be called the most talented team that's ever played here. There's a difference in talent and production, of course, but it was quite a ball club.
The 1-0 miss is outside. The 2-0, that one splits the middle. 2 balls and a strike. You know, I think this is a bunch that I don't... And you don't mean any kind of slight to them, but you look at it as it's fouled off to make it 2-2. I don't know if you would call this the most talented bunch as far as CSU's roster is made up this year, but for some reason they play really well together, and it's a bunch that's come together very, very quickly and is a very good team. 2-2 bounces in the dirt, and the counter run full.
Great chemistry.
And that's weird to see because it's so many new guys this year. But credit the coaching staff and these players for having this bunch come together so fast. The 3-2 offering outside, and it'll be a one-out walk issued by Sean Muller.
That 96 team, the Cougars just won the wrong tournaments because the Peach Belt tournament was played at Kennesaw the weekend before, and CSU went up there and won that tournament, and then lost in the regionals the very next weekend right back up there.
Jeremy Arrington will be the batter now. 1 on and 1 out. Here in the top of the 5th inning. 6-0 game as the pitch hits the outside corner for a strike. Hard to believe there's just 4 home games left on the season. That's the case here for the Cougar squad. 0-1 pitch, scooped up, 1-1.
Especially since the team last played at home 28 days ago, that everything was just front-loaded this year.
Regular season with just about 10 days left in it. And then it will be on with the eyes on the big prize for this team that's knocked down just about everything in its path so far this season. One ball and one strike to count to Arrington. He singled back in the third inning, one of just 2 hits the Golden Rams have. 1-1, he's trying to bunts it into the screen, though, on the right side foul. It's 1-2.
2010, CSU won the Peach Belt tournament at Aiken. It was another one of the single elimination tournaments. And that year, CSU pretty much thought, and were kind of told in an off-the-record way, win the tournament and you're going to host the regional.
Runner on the move from first. The pitch in there for a called strike 3. The throw bounces in the dirt, and it's a little late. Virgo swipes the bag to second, but there's 2 down in the inning.
And so we were all excited about winning the tournament, and then on the bus ride back from Aiken, we got the word that the host spot instead had gone to Francis Marion.
Hector Carrasquillo, the batter, he laid down a sacrifice bunt in his only trip to the plate so far. Watches one low for a ball. Again, though, you talk about that and you look at what we talked about. If they win the regular season, win the conference tournament, again, you're not guaranteed that they're going to get that host spot because of what Lander has already put together this year.
Right.
The 1-0, low and in, it's 2-0. And that's one of the things, one of the advantages that Lander had was the fact that at least so far by the polls, they started higher than CSU did. CSU didn't start in the poll and had a lot more ground to make up.
That's why I am not a fan of preseason polls in any sport.
2-0 pitch in there for a called strike.
You've seen that a lot in Division I college football, of course.
Because it's so hard to jump somebody once they're already up there,
Yeah.
and if you start there, you've got a massive edge on someone that starts somewhere below you.
Yep.
And don't get us wrong, Lander deserves to be where they're at. This one's popped up, back of the infield behind second base. Jimmy Obermark calling everybody off, reaches up rather dangerously with one hand, as we've seen tonight, but he makes the grab for the final out of the inning. So the shutout stays intact through 5 defensive innings for CSU, and we're halfway home here in this midweek contest with Albany State. CSU 6, Albany State 0, here on the CSU Sports Network, AM 1460. First half of the game goes CSU's way. 6-0, the Cougars in front of Albany State. Now they got to finish off the back half of this Wednesday evening contest as the sun tries to start setting off into the distance out beyond the left field corner. Lights are likely to be on here at Ragsdale Field before the night is done. You feel that cool breeze blowing into, and that means the temperature is going to keep dropping as the night goes. Blake Edwards to lead things off here in the bottom half of the 5th inning, and the first pitch fastball fired in there by Wins for a strike. Blake, no official at bat so far. A sacrifice fly, a walk, and a run scored as he fouls one just to our right, and it's 0-2. Brian Wins doing a nice job out of the bullpen so far for Albany State. Very close pitch there on the 0-2, but off the plate it's 1-2.
I think Jimmy Obermark took a little ribbing from his teammates when he came back to the dugout after that athletic catch to end the inning.
That one fouled down the left field line. It has not been a graceful day for fielders catching pop-ups. Had one dropped already, and then actually 2 dropped.
Yep.
We had a bunch of people land on their backsides when it was all said and done. 1-2 to Edwards, well outside and all the way to the backstop. It's 2-2. Those fans on the balcony of the Cunningham Center, they're all gathered on that left side, and it looks like the sun's still over there. It looks rather cool in that right corner where everything's tucked away at. Wynn spreads out on that rubber out of the wind-up, the 2-2. Rolled foul past the CSU third base side. They still in the sun?
Yeah, just a tad on the very corner of it.
Another line drive down the left field line, but again, Edwards too far out in front of it. Laces it foul.
Trying to see if I see my boss up there. She was supposed to be here tonight.
Spying on you, of course, right?
Yeah.
Not enjoying the free food.
Yeah. I told her she was welcome to join us in the press box.
The 2-2 hit in the air to deep left center field. This ball tracking towards the gap, but the center fielder McDaniel will catch it as it runs out of steam a couple steps shy of the track. Ball not carrying too well in the air right now.
Yeah, that wind's knocking it down out there. Although at the moment the wind, which has been swirling, is switched and is blowing out to right center, but been knocking it down crossways most of the day.
Mike McClellan, the batter now. McClellan nearing the 400 mark in batting average. He came into the day hitting .383, and all he's done is go 2 for 2. A breaking ball in there starts him with a strike.
I think I've got the glasses on the balcony. I think one of the folks out there, I see Chip Reese, who works at the university now.
This one popped up, foul side of first. Overrun over there on another foul pop-up that will drop as it hits the glove of Udofia and falls foul. So that's 3 that we've seen drop on easy pop-ups.
Not exactly like it's Wrigley Field here today either. You know, the wind is up a little bit, but goodness.
This is not one for the Tom Amansky video. To the count. McClellan, some simple math with a calculator, says that his average is up to .393.
Mentioned Chip Reese on the balcony. He was the coach in '94. The last time the Cougars hosted a regional. He was the coach for that great team in '96.
In the dirt, makes the count 1-2 now. One-two from Wins, tipped and off the mitt of Robert Latner behind the plate. Close to holding on to that for a strikeout, and it bounced right off the glove.
See Roger Schultz out there. We need to follow him for the food.
1-2 is low and away. It's 2-2. You know, it's all well and good that you're scoping the people out, but I'm going to need you to start scoping the food with those binoculars. I'll figure out where that's at.
Let me see what's happening down the line here.
The 2-2 rolled past Patrick Collins over there in the third base coach's box. That crowd's really thinned out. I don't have high hopes for what's down there. 2-2 the count. Bases clear, one away in a 6-0 game. McClellan fights another one off as he fists this one out of play foul to the first base side.
I'm trying to see if they have the grill fired up. The problem for me maybe is that a lot of the cafeteria here is closed, and they're serving the students and staff and faculty here, and so
another one fouled off by McClellan, who's putting up a good fight.
So I don't have a CSU ID that would allow me to get this free food.
Yeah, you know, they don't give me one either. I work here. They won't give me one. I've asked. McClellan swings, high fly ball, deep left center field. Look out on that balcony. That one will land just shy of it, but it's gone for a home run for Mike McClellan. Those folks up there, I'm not sure they were paying attention just yet in that ball. Going to ring some bells up there as McClellan fights one through the wind and over the left center field wall for Mike. Home run number 8 on the season ties him for the team high, and the big guy, a triple shy of the cycle.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think the people on the balcony knew they were in close to being in danger at all. Nobody moved up there.
They either have really good judgment or they were not paying attention. I guess we'll give them the benefit of the doubt.
No, not me. I'm going for the latter.
7-0 the score on the solo home run by McClellan. Blaine Miller will now have the pleasure of trying to follow that up, and he'll bounce one to third. Arrington on one hop. Fields throws, and there's 2 down. I was trying to be kind to our people out there. You never know if they've got headphones in.
That's what I'm here for. Let the crotchety old guy say it.
Well, at least you know who it was that said it if you are listening out there on that balcony. It was not me. 2 down in the inning. Base is clear. Carson Bowers, the batter. He'll test Arrington at third. A high chopper. Fielded on a hop. Quick throw. And they get Bowers by a half a step over at the first base bag. So back-to-back groundouts in the inning, but Mike McClellan with one swing adds another run to the scoreboard. It's 7-0 Columbus State on top of Albany State after 5 innings here at Ragsdale Field. This is the CSU Sports Network, AM 1460. Stephen Williams and Scott Miller here with you at Columbus State University. 7-0 Cougars on top of the Golden Rams of Albany State. And Greg Appleton going back to the bullpen here for the Cougars.
And the new pitcher is Sean Thomas, 6'1", 200-pound right-handed sophomore out of right here in Columbus. He is 3-0 on the season, a 3.94 ERA in 9 appearances, 16 innings, 11 hits, 7 earned runs, 19 strikeouts, and 10 walks in those 16 innings.
There's really not a bad option down in that bullpen when Greg Appleton signals down there to get somebody up. We've mentioned that before. And now Thomas will go to work as he'll start things off with Ryan Latner, the leadoff hitter for the Golden Rams, who takes a breaking ball for a strike.
Yeah, really a lot of depth down there.
Latner reaches out, rolls one to third. Edwards backing up on it, dropped it out of the glove, and there'll be no play. It was a tough one for him because he immediately gave ground. and they will charge him with an error on the play.
Yeah, he's most of the time, if you start to back up, you're in trouble.
So 2 errors on each side of the defense in this ball game. CSU has been able to limit the errors, though, and keep them off the scoreboard. Let's try to do so now with a speedy runner on first. Showing bunt is Reese McDaniel, and he pulls back and takes a pitch in there for a strike. 7 runs on 8 hits, 2 errors for the Cougars. No runs on 2 hits, 2 errors for Albany State. Runner moving, they've picked him off. They've got him caught between the base paths, and nothing will happen as the throw to second will sail into left field from Mike McClellan. The runner was already on his way back to first, though, so no advance.
What is going on here tonight?
It has been a stellar day defensively for both teams. So 0-1 the count. The runner's still on at first. He's running this time. Averett, a chance to throw him out. The throw a little to the first base side, though, and Carson Bowers couldn't catch and apply the tag as Latner slides in safely. The ball would have been there in time, but the throw a little bit off the mark.
Carson a little slow getting up from that.
I think I just saw a football in the air over the concession stand down the first base line.
Well, there you go.
That's how you know you live in the South. Middle of April at a baseball game, and you got the football being tossed around. 1-1 inside, 2-1.
I saw a great tweet last night. Georgia Tech played Georgia in baseball in Athens, and the pitch here.
Thomas, a couple of looks to second. The 2-1, good breaking ball. It's 2-2.
The game time temperature was lower last night for the baseball game than it was for the Georgia Tech football game in November.
I actually watched some of that last night, believe it or not. The 2-2, line down the left field line, but foul over towards the Cougar bullpen. So we'll stay 2-2.
Yeah, no Braves game last night, rained out.
Yeah, so I don't have cable, so I use my Apple TV and I have the Watch ESPN app, and so that game was on ESPN3 last night.
Well, there you go.
The 2-2, rolled towards third. Edwards will field. Look the runner back. The throw. The runner will advance up now. The throw back by McClellan is a little late, so they'll retire the runner at first, but Latner, who runs well, will advance up on the play. And he's now 90 feet away from scoring the first run of the ball game for Albany State with 1 down. All kinds of duties up here for you in the press box.
We want you to give us a rundown of your trip to England, by the way.
Jacob Campbell, the batter, left-hander, watches one in the dirt. Blocked by Dustin Averett. I don't even know where to begin on that. That was quite some trip that Jay Entlick decided he wanted to take me on for some reason. I can't figure out why, but he wanted to bring me along, and I was not going to say no. The 1-0 in there for a strike. It's 1 ball and 1 strike to the number 3 hitter in the Golden Ram order.
Women's soccer team in England for several days.
8 days. 9-day trip, 8 days over there. Line drive over the outstretched glove of Mike McClellan into right field for a hit, and the shutout is no more. Latner will take his time in strolling across home plate, but it's an RBI base hit for Jacob Campbell, and that error to start the inning comes back to hurt the Cougars. So make it 7-1 now, as Albany State finally on the board. That's the number of runs they scored in the first meeting. CSU, though, tallied 26 of its own. First pitch to Robert Latner is outside for a ball. We left a couple Sundays ago. Left here at about 5 o'clock. Had a flight out at 10 p.m. Caught the red eye and it was not pleasant. Let's just put it that way. Latner bunting as the runner was on the move. That ball dies on the first base line, and Latner is going to be safe. The throw by Thomas will sail over the head of McClellan. Obermark, a nice job of backing the play up. And that'll be a bunt single for the cleanup hitter. So Albany State trying to make a little noise here in the 6th and cut into another 6-run deficit. And now we'll get a pinch hitter in the number 5 spot in the order. Sable Gilliard will come on and pinch hit for Uwin Udofia. That red eye, though, you take it at 10 o'clock and, you think, all right, middle of the night, I'm going to sleep on it until you get in those crammed seats and they don't lean back very far and people around you. And I slept, I think, 30 minutes twice.
Right.
And then it was 11 a.m. when we got there, so you're up for the day.
Right.
That was not complaining. I enjoyed every moment of that trip, but that was a rough day. First pitch breaking ball from Thomas breaks outside for ball 1.
How long was the flight?
It was about 8 hours over there, and then, of course, you fight the wind coming back. So the flight home was actually closer to about 9.5. That one will bounce in the dirt and get all the way to the backstop out of the hands of Thomas, who's having himself a rough inning here. Wild pitch will allow the runners to advance up here in a 7-1 game, now both in scoring position. It was fun in the Hartsfield-Jackson Airport before we took off. I took video everywhere we went in there, and so I was trying to think, what's a good story angle to play on this. So I was looking for people that had never flown before. You figure, we're taking 31. Somebody is bound to not. No, all of them had flown.
How about that?
So then it was, who's terrified of flying? And there's a bunch of hands.
Yeah, a lot of hands for that. Yeah.
The 2-0 pitch throws a breaking ball, but it's high, and it's 3-0. Campbell over at third, Latner the runner at second, Gilliard the pinch hitter in a 3-0 count. Make it 3-1. But the minute we got there until the minute we left, that was a fantastic, phenomenal experience, and it was once in a lifetime for the girls, but once in a lifetime for myself as well. On the ground towards short, this will get a run home. Bauer's throw on the run, a good play by the Cougars shortstop. Both runners will advance. There's 2 down, and it's now a 7-2 game.
Yeah, Carson made that easier than it really looked. Had to throw across his body on the run to get the out.
An RBI for the pinch hitter Gilliard. Campbell scores, Latner to third, and the shortstop Alan Hardy digging in.
Team played soccer and watched some soccer.
First pitch to Hardy in there for a strike, or as they say, football.
Football.
And the thing is, it's not football, it's just football.
Right.
Just the same way we say it here, but 3 games for them, 1-1-1. A little bit of everything for them across the way as it's fouled back to make it 0-2. They tied with Portsmouth. The Portsmouth Football Club over there could not have been nicer people. They were so thrilled to have us there, and the girls made instant friends with a bunch of those ladies there. This one's looped into left center field. Tough play, and Nettles can't get to it. It'll bounce in for a hit. It's 7-3, an RBI single for Alan Hardy. Don't look now, but the Golden Rams have 3 on the board, and they've cut the deficit to 4. So Joseph Virgo, the designated hitter, steps in now with a man on, 2 outs, and 3 already across. It's a touchdown to a field goal. The Albany State drive stalling out at about the 20. A check swing goes too far around. It's 0-1.
How about the matches that you saw?
That's an experience all on its own. We watched Norwich City and Fulham. as that one's a little low to make it 1-1. We went to the Fulham Stadium, the Craven Cottage, as it is known. And I mean, from the time we walked in there and they had kickoff to the time we walked out of there when it was over, it was a nonstop chant, cheer, sing, yell, everything you could imagine where you raise your voice. Hardy on the move, got a bad jump, and Averett will make him pay for it. Guns him down at the second base bag and puts an end to the top of the 6th inning. So caught stealing on the base paths, but not before 3 runs come across to score on 3 hits with the help of an error as well. 7-3 now as Albany State is on the board. Cougars still up by 4 here on the CSU Sports Network, AM 1460. Stephen Williams and Scott Miller are here with you at Ragsdale Field. 7-3 now. Columbus State's lead cut down to 4 runs as we move to the bottom of the 6th inning. And as we do, another member of the all-name team coming in to pitch for the Golden Rams.
Yeah, you can have a guy named Wins out there all night, but give me a guy named Bacon. Andrew Bacon, 6'2 sophomore out of Leesburg, Georgia.
I think that's the hunger setting in up here.
I think it is.
He's 6-4 on the season, though, a 4.72 ERA. He's thrown 55 innings, given up 29 earned runs, 76 hits, walked 11, struck out 43. It's a nice job out of the bullpen, though, for Brian Wins. We'll get final tally on him in a second. But he did a nice job for the Golden Rams. 3 runs in the top half of the 6th inning. Now have made this an interesting ball game all of a sudden. It's back into slam range. 4-run game. 9-1-2 coming up for the Cougars. Matt Nettles to lead things off. First one high and outside, taken for a ball.
Too bad there's nobody named Eggs. Maybe somebody with a nickname on the team of Eggs.
Nettles rolls this one on the ground to second. Picked up on a couple hops by Latner. The toss on to first, and there's one out. And he would then naturally have to be the catcher.
Of course.
So we can have the battery of
bacon and eggs.
I think we may have to put a sign up here that says we're wearing headsets as the first one's in there for a strike to Brendan Collins.
People are, I guess, winning things here tonight, and so the PA announcer is on the opposite end of the booth. We need a sign that says "Others End." Hold it up.
The 0-1, they'll try Latner again at second. Again, he gets a nice Sunday hop on a Wednesday night, and he throws Collins out for out number 2.
That's another thing. If they're giving away food over there and they haven't told us about it,
right, I'm going to be highly upset with our PA guy.
We're gonna have to come off the top rope on somebody on that one.
I don't know if that's Kurt Dukes, our PA guy, if Josh Fuller's over there doing that, but if someone has food, they need to let us know. The first pitch to Jackson Oliver misses out of the zone. It's taken for a ball. Jackson, a nice night so far. A couple of singles, a stolen base, a run scored, and a run driven in on a sac fly. 7-3 the score. On the ground towards short. This time fielded by Hardy. The throw is wide of the mark. Jackson's going to reach. That was rather nonchalant all the way around by Hardy. Never squared himself up to field it. Kind of threw with an odd motion and then sailed it.
was almost like a Ryan Zimmerman throw there.
Talk about a guy that's a professional that's paid to do big things and just can't figure out how to make a throw from third to first.
He can make that underhanded throw just fine. That's the only one he can make now. Of course, he's on the DL now.
Jackson's going to run on the first pitch to Obermark, and the fielders couldn't get there in time to cover up the bag as the throw will scoot into center field. Jackson won't advance on it. But a stolen base now for Jackson, his second, and they've given him a hit, actually, on that last play as well. So Jackson now with a 3-hit day. 1-0 to Obermark, high, 2-0. I mean, this is a guy going for postseason awards, so you got to stack it a little bit.
You can't get help at home, or can you?
Obermark with a massive cut there, comes up empty. Here's a guy right here, though, that needs to get something going. He struck out his last 2 times. Outside corner, called strike 2. There's always that one guy when the offense is going well that's struggling at the plate, and Obermark's not the one that is it right now. It's Brendan Collins that's wearing that collar. He's 0 for 4. 2-2 just off the outside corner. I think Jimmy might have taken some ribbing from his teammates for that had he struck out for a 3rd time. Full count offering. Rolled on the ground to 3rd, fielded by Arrington. The throw to 1st on the money, and 3 ground outs will end the inning for CSU. So a 0 put on the board by Bacon, and it's 7-3. That's hard to get out without laughing. It's 7-3 CSU after 6 here on the CSU Sports Network, AM 1460.
If you have
It's time to race the Chick-fil-A cow. Here at Ragsdale Field on CSU Day, they have a tiny youngster out there at first base about to race the Chick-fil-A cow who's out at second. This is a long run for that little guy. I feel bad for him.
There he goes.
There he goes, cutting it off.
He's cutting the corner.
Cutting through the grass. The Chick-fil-A cow still wearing that huge glove. Hey, at least he touched third base. Doesn't know where to go now. Now he's lost. But look at the team. How about the guys in front of the third base dugout pointing him where to go?
Giving him directions.
The Chick-fil-A cow.
Let's see if he slides
him
head first.
And he will step on home plate like a champ. Good for that guy.
Yeah, he is.
He's now out of gas.
That's it. Well, he's got enough gas left to wave to the crowd. That a boy.
And with that, it's Stephen Williams and Scott Miller back here with you at Ragsdale Field. The things that go on in collegiate/minor league baseball. I guess that would fall in that category as well.
The Chick-fil-A cow just got smoked on the bases.
That's what makes it fun to come out to the ballpark.
Yeah.
That's what people keep coming for. And now you've created a fan for life.
I thought it was great. The kid that cut the corner. He saw what he was up against. He knew he was going to have a tough time, so he just cut the corner. He was in the neighborhood, if it was a big neighborhood, of second base.
Hey, he said All you told me was beat the cow home.
That's it.
You didn't say I had to touch every base.
Didn't say touch them all.
And plus, it took him 30 steps between each base. He just said, hey, I can't run that far.
That's right. He was a tiny guy, wasn't he?
We've played 6 here at Ragsdale Field. It's 7-3 CSU, and we have a new pitcher coming in for Greg Appleton's bunch. It'll be right-hander Jake Ezel, a 6'4", 200-pound junior out of Bon Air, Georgia.
Jake is 0-0 in the one-loss category, 2.51 ERA in 11 appearances, 14 and a third innings, and 18 hits, struck out 18, walked 4.
If you like hard throwers, that's what you're going to get out of Mr. Ezel. Throws the ball very hard. He's a tall, lean, slender, right-handed pitcher that slings it well. For him, it's all about honing it in and finding the strike zone. If he can do that, he's very effective, and he's done that more times than not this season. Albany State, though, has scored 3 unanswered after falling behind 7-0, and now they'll try to continue to cut into that deficit. Joseph Virgo, the designated hitter, will lead things off. It's the 7, 8, and 9 duo up in the order as they start slinging balls around the stands up here at Ragsdale Field.
I wish somebody would sling a hamburger around.
First pitch swung on and missed. In there for strike 1. And you know what? We've seen T-shirts, we've seen balls, we've seen Chick-fil-A stuff. I've seen free food everywhere. That one's high. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Is the cow throwing any of those? I'd be impressed if he was.
Yes.
He's got the glove.
He has got a glove that could catch several at one time.
That one's low. 2 balls and 1 strike. Virgo 0 for 1. He flew out to right field. He's also walked in the 5th and stole a base. Below the knees. That'll miss again. 3-1.
I'm impressed with that dog that's down there in the first row. This humongous cow walking on 2 legs just walked by him and he didn't even flinch.
Comebacker right at Ezel. He'll snare it, run halfway to first, underhand flip, and Virgo is the first out. I think the dog looks at it and says, that's way bigger than I am. I can't do anything. A ground out to start off the 7th. Base is empty now for Jeremy Arrington, who has one of the 5 Albany State hits. CSU out hitting the Golden Rams 9-5 as Arrington swings through it.
Our dog is a mini schnauzer named Rosie. She would have lost her mind. The cow had gone.
The 0-1, that one's in there on a breaking ball, and someone too. Okay, they're still serving some kind of food down there because I just saw people at that cart with the window open, that trailer. There's still something going on. Outside corner, called strike 3. So Ezel with the good morning, good afternoon, and good night for out number 2.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, Kenny Funderburg just walked away with a plate of food down there, a CSU basketball player.
I mean, you think all the time you'd spent with Kenny, all the interviews I've done with him, I think he'd take care of his people.
I would think so. Let me tweet something to Kenny.
That pitch, and this is a little bit inside. Please do. Let's see if that results in something.
All right, let me see if he...
I'm sure he has his phone on him.
Yeah, of course he does.
The 1-0 sprayed past the CSU dugout by Hector Carrasquillo. The Golden Ram right fielder, a sacrifice bunt and a pop-up in his 2 trips to the plate. 7-3, Cougar lead. The 10th ranked team in the country right now. On the ground, backhand at short. Bowers plants, long throw, scooped at first, and they're going to say he was safe.
Wow.
First base umpire pumped that arm back like he was getting ready to ring him up, and then didn't even do a demonstrative safe. It was just a little safe.
Yeah, that was odd.
So a 2-out infield single for Carrasquillo. And we'll go back to the top of the Albany State order for Ryan Latner. Latner reached on an error, stole a base, and scored a run in the 6th. Pops the first one up, out of play, foul on the right side. Just got the alert on my phone that the Braves and Phillies getting set to start. Good pitching matchup in Philadelphia tonight. Julio Teheran and Cliff Lee.
Yeah, that is good. How about the pickups of Santana and Harang?
Who would have thought? Aaron Harang. You know, you could have thought with Irvin Santana. He's shown flashes of brilliance, but Aaron Harang, well done. Line down the right field line towards the corner, and that'll fall into fair territory. Oliver will pick it up on a couple of hops, get it back in, but the runners will be on the corners with 2 down. So back-to-back singles now. Put them on the corners, and here you are, tying run all of a sudden in the on-deck circle. Reese McDaniel will bat now. Runners on the corners and 2 outs. McDaniel's 0 for 3. Grounded out his last time. Rolls one foul of first for a strike. I still see Kenny down there, so he's still in the vicinity.
I'm working on that tweet. It takes me a little longer than it does you guys.
That's okay. I'm just making sure he doesn't leave on us before you get that sent. And make sure you're getting a double order here.
I've got you in there. I got you in there.
The 0-1 on the outside corner. It's 0-2. Kenny would be the man if he could come through here.
All right. I see you with that free food out there at Steve O. Williams, and I could use some in the press box now. How's that sound?
That's good to hit tweet.
Tweet.
Swing and a miss. Ezel gets out of the jam with a strikeout, his 2nd of the inning. And as we search for free food, it's time to stretch here at Ragsdale Field. 7-3 the score. 7th inning stretch time here on the CSU Sports Network, AM 1460. Disappeared out of sight because the Chick-fil-A cow is down there in that area now, but there's no way he scooted away fast enough. He just tweeted at Kenny Funderburg to bring us free food. Look. We talked about it on the air. He was tweeting to him.
AM 1460 WHJL.
Stephen Williams and Scott Miller back here with you in the press box up high above Ragsdale Field. 7-3, Cougars leading Albany State as the search for food continues.
Let's see how powerful Twitter is. Social media time to try to get some free food.
CSU with a 4-run lead in the 4, 5, and 6 in the order coming to the plate. Dustin Averett to lead things off. Watches one a little high for a ball. All right, the clock is on you, Kenny. We're keeping an eye on you down there. The 1-0 pitch. Line drive, right field, a late break, a dive, and a grab out there in right field by Carrasquillo. Nice job by the Albany State right fielder.
That was a good job. Got a good jump. At least I think he did. I was looking for Kenny.
That's okay. You're allowed to look away from the field until something shows up here in the press box. So the line out to right is the first out of the inning. Blake Edwards, the batter now. He flew out to center field his last time up, and he waves at that one and misses. It's 0-1. 4 runs in the first, and then a single run in the second, third, and fifth for CSU. Good off-speed pitch is in the mitt. That's 0-2.
I don't even see him down there now.
No, he's tucked away behind the concession stand. I think he ran away maybe from the Chick-fil-A cow.
Yeah, I could understand that.
The 0-2, swing and a miss in the dirt. Latner will scoop it up and have to throw Edwards out at first, but he does so for the second out of the inning. So now Mike McClellan will bat. Now this is the one that we need to pay attention to right here. Big Mike.
Yeah.
Needs to find a gap somewhere. He's a triple shy of the cycle. A single, a double, a home run, 2 runs scored, and 2 runs driven in. So here we go, Mike. Find a gap. First one bounces across the plate for ball 1. Mike is a guy on the larger side, so he's going to need to place this one well to find third base. On the outside corner, it's 1-1.
How about he rattles one down in the right field corner?
Go the other way.
Just rattles around for a while.
Big swing at that one. It's 1-2.
And the right fielder falls down.
Well, then he's got an in-the-park home run. He's thinking that.
Yeah, you're talking about Mike now.
Would you? The 1-2 fouled off his front foot. Well, that won't help.
Well, see, there you go.
All right, so now that went from an in-the-park home run to a triple.
Wheels.
So here's the question. If you're the hitter,
I'm stopping at third.
You're a triple shy of the cycle, but you've got a chance at an in-the-park home run. You could have a 2 home run day, and one of those be an in-the-parker. Would you rather have the cycle?
I'd rather have the cycle. Now, I'm not saying that I would stop. I guess you do the right thing, especially if you were waived, you better go. But I would rather have the cycle than an inside-the-park home run.
Even as a big guy, you got a chance at the in-the-park home run.
Yeah.
I don't think we have one of those this year. And he can look at all the speedsters and say, hey, what have you done?
How often do you get a chance at the cycle, though?
The 1-2, looking for right field there, but he fouled it off.
Look at it this way. Every time you come to the plate, you have a chance to get an inside-the-park home run.
That's true. I think the night is over.
Not that it ever would happen.
I think the night is over for the Chick-fil-A cow. He's off up that hill over there.
That little kid wore him out.
It bounces in the dirt, blocked by Latner. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 away here in the 7th. 7-3, Columbus State leading Albany State.
Either that or he's gone out to graze over there somewhere.
The 2-2 bounces in the dirt, and the count runs full. Get that awkward 5 o'clock start time. It takes our news guys a little while to get here.
It
but
does.
Dave Plata, Jonathan Husky, WTVM, WRBL, both in the building now. 3-2, swing and a miss. So for Mike, the cycle likely not to happen tonight. But it's 7-3 Cougars after 7 innings here at Ragsdale Field. This is the CSU Sports Network, AM 1460.
Taking it from here, or am I just going to keep going?
I wouldn't do that to you.
All right.
Well, this is the second game of Saturday's doubleheader. If you asked, you'd have it.
All right, Kenny. Letting us down. Who we got? Bill Howard.
And we head to the top of the 8th at Ragsdale. 7-3 CSU leading Albany State, and the new pitcher for Columbus State.
It'll be Jordan Vilhauer, the junior right-hander, 5'11", 160 pounds, out of Canton, Georgia. Jordan struggled a little bit this year. This is just his 11th appearance of the season. He's 1-2 with an 8.78 ERA.
And the first pitch is a bunt attempt down the third base line and foul off the bat of Jacob Campbell. Josh Fuller just telling us he's an official scorekeeper that if the Cougars hang on to this lead and indeed the win, Sean Muller would be awarded the win. There's a shot right off of Jordan's leg, bounces out to second, and Jimmy Obermark fields and throws, and he got it. Ouch.
Don't rub it. You can't do it. You can't rub it.
Umpire walks out to make sure he's okay, and Jordan is following your instructions.
Yeah. It hurts, and it's going to sting, and that's going to be quite the bruise, but everybody's watching. Don't reach down and touch it.
I was going to say, didn't hurt a bit.
Good, Coach.
Iron Man. Here's Robert Leitner, the catcher, swing and a miss.
Of course, Greg Appleton, I'm sure, never flinched. I'm not going out to check on him.
That's right.
He's a baseball player. Rub some dirt on it.
That's right. This is your inning, big fella.
Do you want to come out of the game?
The 0-1 is fouled away. 0-2. Fifth pitcher of the night for the Cougars. That was the plan going in. 7-3 CSU. Swing and a miss. Struck him out on 3 pitches.
Uh-oh, we've got breaking news in the Twitter department. Kenny has responded, and he's asking, what do we want on our burgers?
That'll baby.
Look at him.
Where is he?
I don't know where he is, but bless that man's heart.
Answer for us, will you?
What would you like on your hamburger?
How about a little ketchup, mustard, maybe some pickles if they have it. Swing and a miss.
I can't believe that this is happening.
I'm just glad that I saw him down there, and we knew Kenny would come through for us. Pitches downstairs. 1-1. The 1-1 pitch popped him up. Foul territory is drifting toward the first base dugout, and indeed right in front of it, and a nice catch by Mike McClellan before he went into the Albany State dugout. So no problem with that pop-up tonight. That's not been the case a lot of times with some players here tonight, but 1, 2, 3 go the Rams in the top of the 8th. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Columbus State 7, Albany State 3. This is the CSU Sports Network on AM 1460. Bottom of the 8th at Ragsdale, 7-3 CSU on top, and Blaine Miller will go to work against Andrew Bacon. And a burger is on the way thanks to Kenny Thunderberg. There's a drive, deep left field, that ball hooking toward the pole. It is gone! Just snuck it inside the left field foul pole, and how about that? Blaine Miller jumped all over that and drove it out of the ballpark, and it is 8-3.
Blaine's first home run
Wow.
in a Cougar uniform. He's driven home 15 now, and he leaves the ballpark. as you said, and that ball was maybe 15 feet deeper down that line. It was going to hook foul, but it tucked it just inside the pole.
Players coming out of the dugout were doing the Carlton Fisk thing, trying to keep it fair down the line.
It worked.
And it worked. 8-3, 10 hits now. And the pitch to Carson Bowers is high, 1-0.
If we get Kenny up here, am I going to need to surrender the headset to him for a second?
Absolutely.
I'm more than willing to do that.
I tell you what, we'll just take the crowd mic, pull it in.
I'll bring it in. If he comes up here, I'll get up and I'll bring it in for him.
2-0, 2-0 pitch, fouled away, 2-1.
I see him. I got him now, a visual again. But
We've got a visual.
He's just mingling.
Oh, I see him down
He
there.
can't tease us right now, is he?
Oh, that would be beyond cruel, and he does not know who he's messing with if that were the case. There's a fly ball into center field. Center fielder back under it. McDaniel has it. Dead away center field, medium depth. And that'll bring up Matt Nettles. That's so excited about the hamburger we thought was coming to the press box. I was putting this down in the wrong inning. The pitch is downstairs. 1-0.
And now it's a hamburger that might not happen.
Yeah, pitch is high. 2-0. That would be the ultimate in cruelty, wouldn't it?
He's tucked behind the bullpen. Still got a visual on him, but he's not moving.
Don't let him out of your sight. 2-0 looped into center. McDaniel coming on hard, and he's under it, and he's got it. For the second out of the inning. And that'll get us back to the top of the order, and Brendan Collins. Well, it's all fun and games today, but a lot more on the line Friday and Saturday out here when USC Aiken comes calling. First pitch to Brendan is pulled foul. He needs a hit. He's 0 for 4 in the game. Again, a reminder, the schedule has been changed because of the 50% chance of rain on Friday. It's now a single game on Friday at 5. Breaking ball is in there. And a doubleheader Saturday at 1. The Friday game will be right back here on AM 1460. The Saturday doubleheader will be on News Radio 540. The 0-2 pitch. Chopped toward third, but foul.
Brendan needs to get on the base paths. He's 0 for 4 right now and really hasn't threatened to be out there.
Yeah, and it's sort of a double dig, isn't it, when your team has scored 8 runs, 10 hits, and you're 0 for 4.
There's always one of those guys, though. Every blowout has one.
If you're on the road, you say, that guy's got to walk home. Pitch foul back this way, right at us. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to upset you there, Brendan. It was headed right toward us, wasn't it?
Hey, hand was up.
Clipped the top of the net. I just saw that. That was nice. That was some good reflex.
Some time away. Stretched out the muscles a little bit.
Yeah. The 0-2 pitch again. There's one hopper to the second baseman. He fields, he throws, and he got him. So nothing doing after the leadoff home run, but quite a shot by Blaine Miller to put another run on the board for the Cougars here in the bottom of the 8th. We go to the top of the 9th inning. We got a Hold'em Cougars. CSU 8, Albany State 3. This is the CSU Sports Network on AM 1460. We head to the ninth inning with the Cougars up 8-3, and the sixth pitcher of the game for CSU.
Right-hander Taylor Cato, 6'1", 195-pound junior. Comes in with a 2.92 ERA, his 12th appearance of the year, all of them out of the bullpen. 12 1/3 innings pitched. He's given up 5 runs, 4 of those earned. An impressive 19-7 strikeouts to walks.
That is. All right, he will face Stephen Lightfoot. Will be hitting for Hardy.
That's right, that's number 3, Stephen Lightfoot.
So Lightfoot getting his first at bat tonight, and the umpire has to write it down in his book.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say, I didn't think I saw him signal that in, so there's a reason he didn't.
Yep. So still no Kenny Funderburk appearance in the press box. If this was a big tease, a Twitter tease from Kenny, I just want him to know that even though I'm old and forgetful, just because basketball season is a long way away doesn't mean that I will not remember this once I'm behind the mic on a basketball game.
Me too. We get 2 separate mics.
There you go. Pitches in there for a called strike.
So, I mean, do we have a plan here for how we're going to attack this when this is done?
Yeah, as soon as we wrap up, you're going to go and physically attack Kenny. The pitches downstairs. 1-1.
I mean, I like Kenny. He's a good guy. He's a good guy.
Oh yeah.
This never struck me as a possibility when we.
No, none whatsoever. I mean, pitches downstairs and it's 2-1. I mean, we follow him on Twitter. He follows us. We're friends.
We thought.
We may have to reevaluate the follow and the friendship part. The 2-1 is downstairs, 3-1.
Did he step behind the bullpen to hide?
Kenny, you can hide, but you cannot run.
We see you.
The 3-1 is hide inside for ball 4, so that's not a good start to the ninth inning with a 5-run lead. And we'll bring up the DH, Joseph Virgo.
Of course, he can still redeem himself.
Right, he may be waiting until we're through. He thinks, they can't eat a hamburger while they're on the air.
Oh, he'd be so
He doesn't know us. He doesn't know us very well, does he?
He'd be badly mistaken.
We'll give him, because of that common misconception, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt until we're all wrapped up here. There's a breaking ball that's in there for a strike.
We'll have to update everyone on Friday night then.
Yes.
On how Kenny did.
Yes. Or you can just follow Stephen and I on Twitter, and we'll be either ranting at him or praising him. I'm at Scott Miller 44, and Stephen is at Steve-O_Williams. What the heck's the count? Oh, there's a ball game going on down there. It's 0-2. 0-2 breaking ball. Bounce to first. Good play by McClellan. Steps on the bag for 1. Throws to second for the double play.
Mike McClellan having himself quite the ball game. He's been the offensive star of the night, and that time smoothly picked up that ball at the bag, stepped on it for 1, and threw that runner out at second by 4 or 5 steps. I'm not even sure the runner knew what was going on.
Yeah, he was out easily, and puts Albany State down to their final out, and there'll be another pinch hitter. Michael Byron represents the final hope for the Rams here tonight.
I haven't gotten to see all the great names on this roster yet, and I'm disappointed.
This may be the best name overall roster that we've seen. Pitches in there for a strike.
I mean, there's a guy with the last name of Piggy, and we had a Bacon, too. How about that combo?
Yeah. Is there a Kermit? Is there a guy with a first name of Kermit on this team? Wouldn't that be great?
Right.
Pitches downstairs.
We had the guy whose last name was Wins. They got a guy whose name is Fielding.
Yeah.
That's another appropriate name. He's a second baseman too.
Nice.
Fielding the ball. You can just see it happening.
The 1-1 is a strike on the outside corner. 1-2. So the Cougars perhaps a strike away from putting another one in the win column here. Ranked 10th in the country in one poll. The 1-2 pitch in the dirt. 2-2. Looking for win number 32. The 2-2 pitch will be on the way to the plate. Breaking ball missed low and away, so he's run it full to Brian. Three balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. We might have to send a drone in after Funderburk. The payoff pitch, swing and a miss. He struck him out, and the Cougars win. Columbus State has defeated Albany State 8-3 tonight to go to 32-11 on the season and a successful CSU day. We'll be back and wrap this one up. This is the CSU Sports Network on AM 1460.
What makes it
So the Columbus State Cougars on CSU Day defeat Albany State 8-3, and Stephen has the totals.
8 runs on 10 hits, 2 errors and 4 left on base for the Cougars in the victory. 3 runs on 7 hits, 2 errors, 5 left on base for Albany State, as Scott mentioned before the break. Columbus State now 32-11 overall. Albany State drops to 28-16. Sean Muller, the victory in relief. He is now 4-1 on the season after he works 2 shutout innings, gives up 1 hit and 1 walk, also struck out 1. Clifford Peterson takes the loss. He worked 2 innings to start the game for the Golden Rams. He gave up 5 runs, 4 of those earned on 5 hits.
So a good tune-up for what will be certainly the biggest weekend series here at Ragsdale Field that we've had in many a year.
USC Aiken coming in here, and I think you're going to be able to feel the energy and the importance of that series from the word go on Friday night here.
Cougars with a lead in the Peach Belt right now in first place, and USC Aiken 3 games back in third at the moment. We have a 1-game lead on Lander. You see what's at stake this weekend. And again, the schedule change. It'll be a 5 o'clock single game on Friday. That game will be right here on AM 1460. And then a doubleheader now on Saturday starting at 1. Those games will be on News Radio 540. And I'm sad to report that it appears that Kenny Funderburk has Twitter punked us here and will not bring food to the press box.
While I'm
stunned.
Disappointed and stunned. If that was his intention, that's well executed.
Well played.
Because we did not see it coming. That is what they call a blind side.
Well played, Kenny Funderburk. How do you unfollow somebody on Twitter?
I'll show you after the
Okay,
game.
all right, got it. All right, we thank Tim Rutherford, our studio producer today, and good job as always. And again, we like to see a lot of you out here this weekend for a big late-season ball game. The Cougars win it, go to 32-11. Once again, your final score from Ragsdale Field on this winning night: Columbus State 8, Albany State 3. This is Scott Miller saying so long, everyone.